July the 21st, 2024. Guys, just a quick update. It looks like Joe is dropping out of the 2024 race. We'll read this quickly. It's not a large article, but he's saying he's not going to run 2024, but that he's going to fulfill this term. So who are they going to get to run? They're going to have to put someone in there very quickly or do something else very drastic since he's not running. And who else is really on the ballots and the tickets? I'm sure some of these ballots will have to be reprinted. What do you think? Or they'll just let that, whatever the Democratic vote be for whoever they put in with the Electoral College and immigration votes, things like that. Anyway, it says Joe Biden is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race and will focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I'm going to continue to stay on the beach and chill out and let whoever's telling me what to do what they're doing, and I'll come in once a week for an interview, and I'm going back to the beach. Now, they're saying sometimes next week he will address the nation after his next blood transfusion, we assume. Again, I'm reading that part from the article. Take it as you will. Now, this is a chart, and sure, it's used in betting, but it lists the Democratic candidates, and this happened this afternoon when Joe announced his vacation continues. But the green line would be Kamala Harris. Red line is Joe Biden. That dropped immediately because he's not going to run. And then in the pink, or the purple, we have Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, man. Good God. And Hillary Clinton is in the blue or whatever color. Let's see. Where's the blue? Was Hillary not on the chart? But anyway, let's see. We have the red is Biden. That's gone. Kamala is green. The bright purple is Gretchen Whitmer. Then you have Gavin Newsom in here. That's him in this line right under the pink one, I think. And then this would be Clinton. Hillary Clinton, by the way. Here. Now, she just went above Gavin and some of those folks. Now, let's see who's under her now. Gavin and Whitmer. In other words, they're bowing to the Queen. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is a overall chart of who will win the election. The red is Donald Trump. The blue is Joe Biden, which you see that just has been crashing for quite a while. And going down, and then we see a comedian here rise up, dropping under Joe, and then rising now, because who else is there on the ballot? Guys, is there any other on the ballot? I'm not sure. Now, this chart just has Kamala and Donald. And the red is Donald at the top, the blue is Camilla at the bottom, and the price list, or the last price, we're seeing 64 for Trump and 34 on the Kamala herself, right there in the blue. And guys, of course, her name is Kamala, but she can change her language. If she's in the South, she'll talk with a Southern accent, a West Coast accent if she's in California. And it's kind of, I'm not sure if there's any real person behind that. It's all kind of, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, here's the big question. And of course, if Biden cannot run, how can he remain president? If Joe Biden ends his re-election campaign, how can he justify remaining president? Think about it. We're right here. We could be on the verge of World War III at any minute. One wild card in the bunch, and you have a problem, a broken arrow. Not running for re-election would be a clear admission that President Trump was right all along about Biden not being mentally fit enough to serve as commander-in-chief. There's no middle ground. This is coming from J.D. Vance. He's running for vice president. And he continues, well, this is Josh Hawley. He visited the site of the shooting. They tried to run him off. Anyway, they resigned. He said, then resign your office. If you can't run a mere political campaign, you can't be president. You cannot run the country. Again, Josh Hawley today. He said, resign. If you're unable to be a candidate, then you're unable to remain as president. If Biden refuses to resign, then he must be removed by impeachment or the 25th Amendment. This cannot be tolerated. This is Sean Davis. Now, I don't know how it would work out either way. What would be the best if you were, say, you were a conservative? Would it be best for Biden to stay there, where no one can really step in and have time, really have much time? And how would they change whatever ballots have been printed or whatever listing? And I think you have to qualify for all the states. I really don't know how that will work out. But in order for Harris to run, it would seem that he would definitely need to go ahead and step down, let her step in, and then run as a president again. That may legally allow her to do it. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if they're not going to throw somebody in there like Hillary. Again, she's leading just about everybody in the Democratic Party to step in there. Again, not Pelosi, but Newsom, her nephew, is stepping down, or his points are going down, and they're not going to go up against the Queen of Washington. Continues and says that the announcement came after an intense pressure campaign and after new polling showed that 60% of Americans said Biden should drop out. The opposition included virtually the entire Democratic Party from Pelosi down, and even former Democratic, now independent, Joe Manchin. The deep state and Democratic donors who began pausing funds after last month's horrific debate between him and Trump, and most recently led by a call from Mike Novogratz to replace Biden. I don't know who that is. But Manchin's also highly anti-Trump. He's probably the most conservative Democrat in the Senate, but he doesn't understand, or he can't afford to say he likes the business policies or anything like that. Anyway, the Democratic donor base will be re-energized if there's a fair process to pick the next candidate. The billionaire founder of Galaxy Digital Holdings, who added that if the Democrats pick a centrist replacement through a nomination process, there are a tremendous amount of donors who will cut checks. And maybe he's saying not too far to the left. You think about it. But guys, just the term Democrat is going to cost them the election, no matter who they put in there, because I'm afraid the party has destroyed themselves. That's not saying that the ballots will come out exactly the way they went in. I'm not saying that. It would take a miracle. Who could they get? Again, they have tainted every name associated with them, including anybody in the mainstream media or some of the higher-ups in other parts of the government. Now, on Friday, it was reported that more than 4 dozen former foreign and national security officials call on Biden to drop out of the race. We write as former U.S. officials who have strongly supported your presidency and your initiatives to strengthen U.S. foreign and national security policy. Well, those guys aren't very bright at all, are they? They wrote in a letter, we strongly believe, though, that now is the time to pass the mantle of leadership, and we respectfully urge you to do so. While Biden didn't endorse Harris, he could ask the delegates to do so. That said, they are under no obligation. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the different news organizations, both conservative and in the middle and on the far left, handle this information. It's going to spin, but they're going to have to do something very quickly. So we don't know. We may hear something else this afternoon. It may be Monday morning, tomorrow. Just don't know. But right now, this is going to be replacing the assassination attempt in the worldwide news. Again, Europe, Russia, everywhere. That's all that's been talked about here. We will just have to wait and see how they spin this out and how this goes down and what kind of loopholes, although a lot of times their lawfare on the far left really isn't in the law books, and they kind of, it's there, but it really doesn't apply to certain things that they're trying to accuse certain people of. Their lawfare is kind of slanted to the way they interpret it and not the way the Supreme Court interprets it. So they make up their own laws, their own rules. They know it. We know it. And, guys, it's really... And I think we're maybe seeing some of this on the Republican side, is maybe some standing up and fighting back. Realizing, and actually the world, again, what's been on the news, the Trump assassination thing, the world has been exposed to the Democratic Party. And it's actually becoming a very ugly picture. Guys, we are watching this. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.